Hello guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to do the PlayStation Showcase prediction video. It has been a long time coming and I promised you guys I would do a prediction video. Now these are all predictions out of the knowledge that I know from previous videos that I made, rumors and stuff like that, and also information that's online available on the internet. And I'm going to make kind of accurate, I hope, predictions that could happen, games that could show up, but also games that won't show up. Of course, I will also be doing a Xbox prediction showcase video, so don't worry for the Xbox fans out there on my channel. I will do the same thing for Xbox later. Todd Howard is behind me and he will be there then when I'm going to do it. If you have your own interesting predictions towards the PlayStation Showcase, let me know in the comment section down below and I might feature your comment in the next video. I want to see your predictions as well. So let's start off with first party first on the predictions that will be there, and then I'm going to switch over in the middle towards third party, second party and indie games that could show up at the PlayStation Showcase. So are you ready? Let's get into it. So let's start off with the most obvious one that will absolutely 100% sure show up at the showcase. That is Spider-Man 2. Insomniac has been developing this game for a very long time and they've basically confirmed the game is coming in fall season, and there have been rumors that it will be a September release. And to be honest, they have to show this game now if they want to release it in the fall. It will be 100% sure that that game will show up here. If it doesn't show up, it will be kind of weird, I can tell you. I want to also quickly note, do not expect Wolverine here. That is too early, and I think at least they could show off both. But I think that game will be withheld for the next showcase, maybe next year or later down the line after Spider-Man 2 has been released. Another game that's quite sure to be shown off is the Last of Us Faction standalone multiplayer game that Naughty Dog teased last year already when they announced the Last of Us Remaster remake for PlayStation 5. They already showed off some, I think, concept art that it was at the Summer Game Fest. So I would highly suspect that they would show this off yet again. Now maybe with gameplay and maybe a release for this year or next year, early next year maybe. I do hope that this game has some sort of single player to it. I know they want to do live service games. I'm not happy with that from PlayStation, but if there is some sort of single player with it, but maybe being with co-op, you can bring friends with you in the world, that would be awesome. But I am still quite sour on Last of Us 2, so I'm not really that hyped for it, but I do think we will see it here at the showcase. Another multiplayer live service game that I do suspect from Sony that will be coming out is Twisted Metal. The TV show has just been announced and we know of the existence of a new game for that they probably wanted to make a multiplayer live service game that basically fits Twisted Metal. I do think it will be shown off at the showcase here. I had rumors in the past making videos about a new Twisted Metal being in development. I don't know if it will release this year or next year. Maybe it's still quite off, but I do see this maybe being a 2024 game. That could absolutely be possible. Do expect that here. I think that's also a sure bet. Now, another game that I'm quite sure of that will be shown at this showcase is the new game from Bend Studio. They have been working on a new game. Apparently, it's not a Days Gone 2 because they did not want to make another one because it was financially not a success or something like that. So they have been working on a new IP probably that's going to get shown off here at the showcase. They have been teasing it also. I believe Bend Studio is now 30 years old this year, so they probably want to celebrate that with something like a new announcement, a new game. So expect that. We don't know what it will be in any shape or way or form, there have been not many leaks on it as well. So this is quite a mystery. We shall see what it will be. Now, because they did say that there will also be VR games, I do think Astro Playroom, that was a very cool demo on the PlayStation 5. I do think there will be maybe some sort of VR game for a new Astro game. Maybe something like a platformer, but I do hope if it is a like Astro game that it's also maybe playable without VR as an option. But I could see like a VR game for an Astro, shall I say, platformer here. The demo was very well received, and I do believe there is another Astro VR game already in the past for the first PlayStation 4 VR headset. So I could definitely see another one being made for it. So that's probably a safe bet as well. Now, we know that Guerrilla Games has just released Horizon Forbidden West as well as the DLC, but I do still think Guerrilla has more up their sleeve because there have been multiple rumors of new Horizon projects as well as maybe a new IP or maybe going back to Killzone kind of first-person shooter or a multiplayer kind of game that they are working on. First of all, we have the Horizon Zero Dawn remake that has been heavily rumored. I do not agree with that, by the way. Horizon Zero Dawn is a quite new game for PlayStation 4. Why the hell are we remaking it? But anyways, I could see that happening as well as an announcement. But I could also see the standalone Horizon multiplayer game that has been heavily rumored as well. Maybe it's something like a Monster Hunter style game, because that's kind of perfect for that world with all the robot monsters that you encounter. To have it some sort of a Monster Hunter style to it, I think that's quite fitting for that genre and as well for that game and franchise. So I could definitely see that happen, and I think maybe a separate team is working on that. So I do think Guerrilla is working on something that we don't know about, but it could also be totally something else, and maybe it is actually Killzone related. We shall see. There have been multiple interesting rumors from that company, so we shall take a look at that. There have also been rumors that Bungie might be making a new IP next to the Destiny game that they already own, and it might also be a multiplayer game. We all know that Sony bought Bungie and they are now under the PlayStation umbrella. They are not technically, I guess, first party, but they are still now owned by Sony, so their next game might be a PlayStation exclusive. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the live service games that Sony has been counting on to release as maybe a new IP. And who is better to do that than Bungie, the king of live services now with the Destiny games. So I could definitely see that happening, that they will show off a new game that is maybe a PlayStation exclusive. Another studio that has been very quiet is Bluepoint. They have also been bought by PlayStation, and they are the excellent developers of a lot of really great remakes like Demon Souls remake, we all know it. They also made the Shadow of the Colossus remake, even though I hate Shadow of the Colossus. That might be a thing you don't know about, but I hope they remake something now that I am more interested in, or that they make a whole new IP for themselves that will be a PlayStation exclusive. That will be very interesting. I do think they are working on something. Some rumors have also been spinning around that it could be a Bloodborne remake. Oh my god, then they would make something again that I'm not interested in, because I do not like Souls-like games. But hopefully it's something new, to be honest. Something that they would like to make on their own. But if they remake something, hopefully it's a remake that I do enjoy. Now, this is a little bit of a more wilder guess out there, but I could see happening that maybe there will be a new God of War game with Artreus, a smaller game, mind you, because we all know what happens at the end of Ragnarok, if you've seen that. Artreus could get his own game, maybe in like a Spider-Man Miles Morales style, that it's a little bit shorter, not really being a full-on fledged new God of War game. In the meantime, while they are making a new God of War, they could maybe release this smaller game where you play as Artreus, like a Spider-Man Miles Morales. I could see that happening. Another interesting thing that could happen is Cory Barlog's new game. He has been working on a different game than God of War Ragnarok that has been rumored a lot in the past, and it could have been a sci-fi IP. Now, we don't know if that will show up at the PlayStation Showcase, but I'm wondering, he has been working on a new game for some time now, and I'm kind of wondering if it's now almost done with development or if it's at least far along. So maybe, it's just a maybe, Cory Barlog could show up with his own new PlayStation exclusive, maybe being a new IP. And then the last prediction I have for first party is that there will be a new Uncharted game, probably by a new studio that PlayStation has been secretly basically making over the past few years. That's a big guess from me. Speculation on my front, I do not think they will just let Uncharted be. I do think they want to pick it up again, maybe with a whole new character, and maybe new stories as well. We know Naughty Dog is not working on Uncharted anymore, but that's why I think the IP gets moved to a new studio. There were rumors that a San Diego studio, a PlayStation 1, is working on something, and I could see that being the new Uncharted game. There was also this weird PlayStation ad where we saw this woman in a cave, kind of like a Tomb Raider Uncharted style situation, and I thought like, all these live action stuff point to some game, but this is a weirdly something that does not point to anything, and I would not be surprised if this is actually a new Uncharted and that we see something like a teaser just for it, but we shall see. Now, we are at the middle point of the video, and it's finally time to talk about the third-party games, second-party and indie games. Let's get into it. Now, the first third-party, second-party game that I see absolutely happening here is Death Stranding 2. We already got the announcement for it. Now, I do want to keep in mind that this is a game by Hideo Kojima, and we all know Hideo Kojima is buddy friends with Jeff Keighley, and I wouldn't be surprised if Death Stranding 2 just skips the showcase to be shown off at Summer Game Fest instead. That could be a thing. So maybe Death Stranding 2 will get an update, but not at the PlayStation Showcase, maybe at Summer Game Fest. I could definitely see that happening, but there is always a chance, of course, of showing it up here because it's a PlayStation exclusive. So there is definitely a chance for it. And then let's just talk about the big one in the room, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. It's definitely going to happen. There have been many rumors for it, a lot of smoke in the air from a lot of insiders. I've made multiple videos about it, and I'm absolutely sure it's going to get announced here at the PlayStation Showcase. We don't know if it will be a multi-platform title though, or it will have some sort of exclusivity for PlayStation. Maybe it's a timed exclusive. Be prepared for that. That could absolutely happen. If you are a Xbox fan or a PC player, keep in mind that exclusivity is absolutely possible for this game. We have already seen it with Silent Hill 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake also gets some sort of PlayStation exclusivity, but we shall see. I'm definitely 100% certain it will show up here at the showcase. And of course, Silent Hill 2, we already got the announcement for it a half a year ago. I do think it's due for an update, and it's a good timing now with the PlayStation Showcase to get an update. I could also see it happening that it gets an update at Summer Game Fest, but I do think because of some exclusivity with PlayStation that it will be shown off at the showcase as well. Now, I actually have a pretty interesting one. There is a game called Project Awakening. It's not probably the final title of the game, But this game has been announced a very long time ago, and it looked very next gen when it was showed off. And at first we were thinking it was a PlayStation 4 game, but now we are at the PlayStation 5 generation, so it's probably going to be a PlayStation 5 game. Project Awakening just retweeted the PlayStation Showcase, so there might be a case that this project is going to be shown at the PlayStation Showcase. I wouldn't be surprised. It's being done by Cygames, a relatively smaller studio, and I do believe they are also busy with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I could be wrong, a JRPG. So I could definitely see a update for this game at the PlayStation Showcase. They retweeted it, so I found it kind of weird. Maybe they will show up here as well, but it's kind of a wild guess. Now, of course, Final Fantasy 16, it's coming out next month, basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if that shows up with a small new trailer. But we also have Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Now, I do want to say this. I don't think they will show up both. I think it's going to be one of the two. Or it's going to be just 16 with a new trailer. Or 16 is not going to show up at all, and it will just be only Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth with a update. And if it is Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, I think it's going to be with a delay, that it will be coming out early 2024. I just do not see this releasing this year, to be honest. It could be possible. I would be very happy if it is the case, but I think it will need a little bit more time. That's just my speculation. Of course, they do already have all the assets for the game because they can take them from Final Fantasy VII Remake. So the game gets developed faster, but I think a release for early 2024 is more realistic for that game. And I really think they are not going to show off both of the games, just not overshadow each other, basically. What could happen is we will see 16 only and not 7 Rebirth, but then we will see 7 Rebirth at a Square Enix presentation maybe later, or vice versa, the other way around. So one of the Final Fantasy games will probably show up here, but one of the two, and I don't think it will be both of them. Another game that has been missing for a long time is Pragmata, first announced at a PlayStation Showcase in 2020, and we still don't know anything about it. At first it was delayed until this year, so it should be coming out technically this year, but I don't think so. It will probably be again delayed maybe to next year with maybe a release date now and a new trailer. I don't know if this will be a PlayStation exclusive, yes or no, because it was shown at a PlayStation Showcase, but this could easily just be a multi-platform title that will show up on Xbox as well and on PC. But an update for that game is highly due. Another game that I've been looking forward to is Rise of the Ronin. I just talked about the fact in my last video that Ghost of Tsushima 2 will not show up. That's a rumor. And luckily we do have Rise of the Ronin launching already next year. So I do think it will get some sort of update trailer, maybe with a early 2024 release date. That would be very cool. We shall see. Then another second party AA game that I'm waiting for is Stellar Blade. All the trailers for Stellar Blade were at PlayStation State of Play and showcases, so it's definitely going to get some sort of update and maybe a release date as well. I could maybe see this releasing at the end of this year if it's ready. It's a Sony published game, I believe. And it looks a little bit like a Nier Automata / Devil May Cry-ish vibe game. It looks very cool, and I would love to see an update on that as well. Now, there are also some games that I definitely don't think will happen. This is basically the no category. And one of them is, unfortunately, I already talked about it, Ghost of Tsushima 2. I was really hoping that it would be here, but according to a new rumor from Jeff Grubb, Ghost of Tsushima 2 will not be shown off at this showcase. I hope he's wrong. I really do, but because I'm very hyped for a sequel towards Ghost of Tsushima 2, but or Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think it will happen. When Jeff says this type of stuff, he's kind of reliable. So that's really sad. If you were expecting Ghost of Tsushima to, hopefully we will see it maybe somewhere else this year or next year. Another thing that will definitely not show up, which is not weird, the Horizon sequel, a mainline Horizon game. We do know it's actually in development and they confirmed it already, but do not expect it here. That's far too early after Forbidden West, just as a reminder of Horizon fans that are maybe waiting for it. And another thing that won't happen is Wolverine. I already talked about that. And another thing that won't happen is, unfortunately, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive. That game is apparently in development hell at the moment because of some new rumors and news that we have seen the last year. They are switching developers right now and studio. So they are probably not ready to show off anything towards that game, which is also very sad. I was expecting to see that, but I think it will take longer for Knights of the Old Republic remake. So that was my predictions video for the PlayStation Showcase. I'm predicting Spider-Man 2, well that's kind of obvious. No Ghost of Tsushima 2, I made a video on it and I'm very sad about that because... damn it, I hope I'm wrong and I hope the rumor is false, but it looks like Ghost of Tsushima 2 won't show up at all at this showcase, which makes me very sad. And of course, Cory Barlog's new game, it's a wild guess, but maybe it's going to be here. What are your opinions and predictions for the PlayStation Showcase? Let me know in the comment section down below. And let's take a look at the comment of the day, which I will always do at the end of the video. Hardcore member of the channel rocks up and comments, I am sad that Ghost of Tsushima 2 will not be at the PlayStation Showcase. I hope they will show Pragmata at the PlayStation Showcase. Yeah, I hope so too. Pragmata, it's due to a update now. That's also why I put it in for my predictions here. I don't know if it has any PlayStation exclusivity tied to it, so maybe it could also show up later at Summer Game Fest. That's absolutely possible, but we never know. Maybe it does show up here for the PlayStation Showcase because it did have a showing for the first time at a PlayStation Showcase. So it's definitely possible, and Capcom has been on a roll recently with their games. They have been very good, so I really want to know what that game is about. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you want to have your comments featured in my video, make sure to comment in the comment section down below and maybe I will feature you in the next video if it's a good comment. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more gaming news, leaks and rumors. I do those a ton. And of course, visit my social media in the description down below. And don't forget to leave a like on this video if you liked it. Thank you guys for watching, as always. And don't forget about the Xbox prediction showcase video, which I will also do. And I will see you guys in the next Get Rekt gaming news video. Bye bye.